I saw a tweet with a ton of likes saying men should be born in jail and have to prove their way out. That rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I don't know, it's pretty funny. Also, isn't that usually done in response to, like, a video of a group of men doing some horrid shit? I don't know. Like, I don't think stuff like that hurts men as a social class, so we're not really talking about political harm here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of think of it as, like, if it was, like, the 1950s, and you had Twitter back then, and there were some black people who were saying shit like that about white people in response to a video of, like, a bunch of white people having drinks around a lynched black guy. I don't literally think all white people should have to prove their way out of prison from birth, but I don't know if I could necessarily fault the black people for tweeting that in the 1950s with their time travel tech, you know? It's not like an actual argument, it's a rhetorical point, you know? And I mean, it sucks, but, like, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be lynched either. I feel like that would probably hurt, you know? Okay, but it's not that bad for women as it was for black people. No, but I don't know. It's kind of the broader sentiment, right? Why oppression Olympics it? Women do have genuinely, like, a lot to fear, and there's a lot of shit there, right? Like, again, men aren't being hurt by this. I feel like when men are hurt by stuff like this, it's because they feel uncomfortable approaching women, and they think that attitudes like this are an impediment to them being, like, normally social with women. But being normally social with women means doing so in an environment where you have to understand the cards are already stacked in your favor. There's nothing that you can do about that. There's nothing that you can do to, like, socially reorient. It would be like, you know, there's nothing, you can't, like, fix that broader context. You just have to operate like with like empathy towards people who are at other points in it, if that makes any sense. That's true, Annie. Yeah. Or then black trans women, if you want to, like, really nail it down, you know. I don't think of it as sex essentialism, Nikki Bugs. I don't really see it that way. Why do things have to be materially bad? You literally did an entire arc against hypothetical black ethnic cleansing against white people. Yes, because the political arguments that those people were making would have led to that. Or, like, when I say, hey, you're defending arguments that would basically actually unironically do, like, white ethnic cleansing, my concern isn't that they're going to succeed. They won't. We have the power. They don't have the power to do that. They're not going to do that, you know? The problem is that their arguments are bad. Like, their line of logic reinforces the system that oppresses them. It's a bad line of logic, you know? But, like, tweets like men should have to prove their way out of jail aren't, like, a serious political argument for sex segregation. If they were, I'd oppose it. And in fact, I have. I do occasionally see people argue for sex segregation in society broadly, which is a terrible fucking idea, and I argue against that. Because you have to understand the difference between actual political arguments and, like, venting, you know? Like, you guys don't have an issue with this when I talk about the South, do you? How many times have I talked about, as I will this stream, Sherman going down and doing another burning run on the South? And you guys all understand that this isn't an actual political argument. You understand that it's, you know, a rhetorical device where I'm expressing frustration with and blah-de-blah-de-blah. See? You don't have an issue with it. And yet, for some reason, whenever it involves, like, I don't know, like, fucking men, like, some people in chat are like, whoa, hold on now, and you lose the ability to distinguish between the, like, rhetorical point and the actual political argument. And I think that's because of insecurity. And I know that because I used to feel that way. I used to think that women were overstating the threat to them, and that by acting that way, they were being kind of hysterical, and it was an impediment to me socializing with them. And I used to think, hey, if women would stop being freaks about this, I could be more normal with them. And of course, over time, I stopped thinking that way because it was wrong to. Like, that was just a bad argument on several levels, you know? But I did have a period of time where I thought that. So I understand where people are coming from when they react that way. I'm only saying that, like, I'm saying that I understand it, you know? But, like, ultimately, it's something that has to be moved past, I think. Yeah, but you're being funny about it, and it's hard to tell someone is not being sarcastic. For you, maybe, Benjamin. When I see an 82,000 like tweet saying men should have to prove their way out of jail, I don't think they're actually arguing for a system where infant males are like, think for a second. You really think that's not a joke? Come on. I don't know, I've seen it enough times. Benjamin, you're fighting yourself right now. You're shadowboxing yourself. I see the problem is that you're autistic enough to not get hyperbole, except they get the hyperbole when I'm talking about Byrne and Sherman. It's because it speaks to their insecurities. Is this devil's advocate? No, I'm not devil's advocating anything.